10 minutes before our practice, she came down completely drunk, began taking off all of her clothes, singing drunk into the microphone. We have been robbed.
Naked.
Yes.
On this day, we're gonna do it the right way.
Judge Joe Brown wants to hear what happened.
You got busted on that.
I don't feel embarrassed at all.
Oh, you should.
She told me this is
So I'm gonna do a little bit of Judge Joe Brown justice. Judge Joe Brown.
In the courtroom today, a high school teacher reunites with a student only to end up in a lawsuit.
Somebody had something. Which one of you was it?
It was me, Your Honor.
But first, in Judge Joe Brown's courtroom, musician Binky Tunny says her former bandmate owes for the cost of 2 guitars. Defendant Melissa Maker claims she already worked off that debt. Now, here's Judge Joe Brown.
All right. Now, you two both belong to the same band or combo. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
What do you do? What kind of music do you play?
Well, it's all original rock and roll, but that night we were doing an acoustic show, which is why I had my acoustic guitar and
You're the guitar player.
Yep, and the
How
singer.
about you?
I was taking bass lessons at the time. I was playing the bass guitar.
All right.
She's the baton twirler in the band.
She tried to start off, I see this, as the singer, but her dexterity was better than her, shall we say, vocal capacities, right?
We loved to have her in the band, and she was really fun to watch on stage, but she kind of sounded like a cat being strangled in the microphone, to tell you the truth.
Now, let's see. How do you say that the defendant came into possession of the 2 guitars?
Well, she had been borrowing my bass for a while because we were trying to teach her a couple songs on bass just to see if she maybe had some talent in that area. Paul and I are both guitar teachers, and we worked our butts off. And
That's the witness.
yes, he's also in the band. But
By the way, are you in the band, too?
No.
Okay.
so she was preparing for...
He's a music. You're a musician, though.
Yep.
Come on, stand up. You might as well stand up. Come on. Now, she had 2 of your guitars?
Yeah, at one of these.
Bass and what else?
My favorite guitar. She knew it was my favorite guitar. I wrote all my songs on it.
Which was what?
My acoustic Alvarez.
Now, how long had she had the guitars on this particular last occasion?
Well, she had the bass for about a month, but the actual acoustic guitar, we were all packing up my car at the end of the night, and it didn't fit, so I had left it at the club. And I called her the next day to make sure that she had it, and she said, I'm looking at it, it's on my floor, it's in my house, it's right here, you can come and get it if you want to. And I'm like, you know, I really don't need it till band practice, which was just 3 days away. And she said she'd bring it, and then I didn't see her for 2 weeks. She just dropped off the face of the earth. I was calling her, she didn't return my phone calls. I thought she was mad at me for something.
When did you next see her?
2 weeks later, after our last show, we were preparing for an electric show, one of our regular
Had she been
shows.
twirling that performance?
Well, we were wondering where she was.
Oh, she showed up at the end of the performance.
Well, we were practicing for the performance. So we were at my house the night before, cramming. We had a sub-drummer. He was, like, just trying to get back
Because nobody
in the groove.
stays in the band. It's a revolving band door.
It is, because
Okay,
we
well,
try and keep a
anyway.
level of quality.
All right.
Anyway.
People quit
For members
before
in the band,
any
we
show.
have a cram practice session the
Yes.
night before
And,
the next gig.
She
Okay,
came
what
down
else?
10 minutes before
I
our
would have
practice.
to find out from
Come
her.
on, hold on.
She doesn't want me to tell this part because her
Come
boyfriend
on,
will
tell
get
me,
mad.
tell me, what happened?
10 minutes before our practice was supposed to be ending, she came down annihilated, just completely drunk, began taking off all of her clothes and crying violently, singing drunk into the microphone.
Naked.
And saying something like, we have been robbed. And I thought her house got robbed, so I was trying to console her. And
That's a strange reason to take your clothes off, because you got ripped off.
She was down
if you
to
ripped
nothing
your
but a
clothes off
bouton.
in a fit of passion is one thing, but getting your possessions ripped off, she took her clothes off.
I think she was trying to distract me from the fact that she was about to tell me that my most prized possession in the whole wide world that she
So
knew
she
I
is
loved
screeching
was
away on
gone.
the microphone,
Yes.
not being able to sing, but she was trying.
Yes.
Wrong. No
Yes.
clothes on. All
Yeah,
right.
she took my microphone. I had to plug a new one in to sing into.
Okay, so what did you learn?
I learned that she had very big boobies.
Well, maybe you can change the nature of your act. Just go to a place that specializes in adult entertainment.
It took about 40 minutes to actually figure out what she was trying to say, because first I thought that her and her boyfriend had gotten all their items stolen from their apartment, and then she finally said the only things that got stolen were my guitars out of her car.
Ah, somebody broke in. You got a receipt or some kind of appraisal or something?
Yeah, I got an appraisal for one of the
shop?
top
Let me see.
guitar experts from the Top Shelf Guitar Shop in Milwaukee. And he said that I'm being more than reasonable, that to replace these guitars would cost well over $2,000, but he gave you the cost of what I could get them used as well as new.
Now, let's go over to you, Miss Baton Twirler. What happens here?
Well, Your Honor, I was in possession of 2 guitars. After the show, Binky had forgotten her guitar at the bar. A guitar. I was borrowing 1 guitar. I was taking lessons. And I was responsible for that 1 guitar.
Yes.
The second guitar was left behind at the bar.
Right.
I called her from the bar saying, Binky,
she said you did that.
You left your guitar here.
All right. Now, we agree that you agree, so we don't have to touch on that too much. What did you do when you walked out of there that evening?
I put them in my car and took them home and took them upstairs into my house.
All right. And what do you do next?
Well, during that week, she had told me she would come and get those guitars.
Yes.
I did not.
Well, hold on. It really doesn't make any difference. Go ahead.
She hadn't. She had not come.
She didn't come get them.
She did not come get the guitar. She didn't call me. She didn't return any of my phone calls.
Wait. Hold on. Don't you interrupt either. Now, okay, so the guitars are where?
I'm taking them between my house and to my place of employment where she said she would come and pick it up.
Okay, but in any event, how many days did you transport these 2 guitars from your home to the place of employment?
For a week, correct. Binky didn't call me for any practices, for any shows.
Well,
I'd actually have to...
didn't you know when the regularly scheduled practices
There was no
were?
regularly scheduled practice.
That week there was
no regular scheduled
You missed some every 2 weeks, didn't you? Usually band members don't wait until the day before just to have a cram session. They have some practices in between.
That's Binky style, sir. I don't even know the last name of the drummer.
Well, you know, we have the directors of the Philharmonic, and he's got the baton.
It was nothing like this. This is a very unprofessional
maybe they had gotten
band, a very
used to
unprofessional
Oh,
twirling.
my God.
You know, maybe they've gotten used to your rhythm as you twirled. You know, everybody's going, yeah, all right, that's okay.
The reason why I had stopped singing, because more people were drawn to the shows for my baton twirling
I imagine. And if you had gotten drunk up there a time or 2 and stripped on stage, that band might have gone someplace. All right,
that's why I kept her around, because we
let me see this video
because that's the only
clip.
reason
I have
people would
got
come to
to
our
see
shows.
this. See what you're doing. Bravo. Very good. And if you had stripped naked, it really would have gotten in.
This isn't what that's about. In that videotape, you never saw what Binky was actually wearing. She was the one who was practically nude on stage.
I am a rock star.
By the way, were you there?
A rock star.
Did it help out the quality of the band practice?
Energetic band practice.
Okay, now, did you show up drunk the next day like they're saying
Absolutely
when you showed
not.
up?
I showed up. I felt absolutely horrible that these guitars were stolen. It was a very, very hard thing for me to tell her that the guitars were stolen.
Let's see. You are the boyfriend, right?
Yes.
You're a musician, too?
I would be upset if I thought that really happened, but I know my girlfriend.
She told me not to tell you.
I'm sure she did.
We'll be right back with Judge Joe Brown.
We have the receipt from her actual guitar.
I didn't get that guitar.
That's your favorite?
Yeah.
I got the only guitar I could afford because you
Well,
never paid me back.
This was the credit card.
That's the guitar I could afford because I don't have the kind of money to go spending $1,200.
And later today,
I did whatever I could to help her.
You learned some parking tickets.
I paid some parking
How many
tickets.
did you pay?
3.
It's showtime after this.
we're back with Judge Joe Brown. This case says her most prized possession is gone, and it's the fault of the defendant. The plaintiff claims she was holding onto 2 guitars, which were eventually stolen from her car.
Anyway, you know, some thief went and ripped you off. That happens, but there are some rules about this. Have you ever heard of something called a bailment? All right, when you take personal property into your possession, absent an agreement to the contrary, you are responsible for the return of that property to the owner in the same condition that you received it, absent ordinary wear and tear. Second thing is that when you act as a good Samaritan type, you try to help somebody out, and you intervene and say, oh, she left it, but I'm going to take it for her. Well, what the law requires is once you take responsibility for that item, you have the same operative rules that apply to you as when you came up and on purpose said, can I borrow that? and that means you pay for it. Now, the amount that she assigned seems quite reasonable in my experience. That totals out at, what is it, $12.20?
The extra $20 was from the $20 she stole from the band's money.
We haven't got to that yet. I want to
So
get to the $12.20 because hold on. I've been reading what she put down in her answer. She didn't steal it, but I'll tell you what she says she did with the $20. She claims she was basically working for free for all this time for the band.
The band works for free.
What she says is that she felt so bad that she wanted to admit some friends to the show. They were really, really, really important friends of hers, so what she did is she went and got the tickets from the management, and then you helped yourself to the till, took $20 to compensate for the tickets,
With
right?
the means for paying Binky back the 20, she wouldn't wait for me to go to the time machine.
All right, so you pay the 20 back. So you win that. Quiet.
She wouldn't let me pay her the $20 back.
Quiet. So anyway, $1,220 in the court cost.
Your
judgment.
Honor, Your Honor, please, we have the receipt. We have the receipt from her actual guitar.
Receipt from the guitar.
The actual receipt.
From her place of employment.
What is it?
The actual receipt for how much the guitar cost.
I didn't get that
actual
guitar.
receipt that you paid with?
Yeah,
I got the only guitar
This is
I
your
could
credit
afford
card.
because you never paid me
This
back.
was the credit card
That's the
receipt.
guitar I could
The credit
afford
card
because I don't
receipt.
have the kind of
All
money
the
to
values,
go
everyone
spending
was
$1,200.
That's the actual receipt from the guitar. That's the actual receipt from the...
Hold on.
That is a replacement guitar. That's the only one I could afford. I couldn't afford to go buy that type of guitar. That guitar was purchased for me by my
Hold
estranged
on.
husband, so I could have one nice
Stop.
thing. One nice thing.
Goodness, you talk fast. Take a breath. Don't pass out. We don't have any paramedics
That's
and any
so low.
oxygen.
That's so low.
We don't
That's
have
so
any oxygen
so
here.
true.
Don't hyperventilate. Don't pass out. Take a breath. Calm down.
Oh,
The
yeah?
problem with this is
lower.
this is what she got to replace the missing guitars so she could continue her performance. That doesn't count. So we're talking about replacement value for a comparable guitar in used condition. $1,200 for that and $20 for the refund of the band's money that wasn't deposited. Judgment accordingly and the cost.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
recess. Folks will have you step out the door to your right, and you all may follow suit.
Plaintiff calls the stolen guitars her most prized possession. She will get the value for those guitars. Now, on to the next case.
Please raise your right hand.
Teacher Regina Sanders says a former student owes for the unpaid balance on a Lexus. Defendant Delilah Williams says Regina ripped her off.
Let's see, ma'am.